Hello, I'm Jeff Siegel. Welcome to Anita.com and welcome to our Thursday video seminar as we examine all 8 races on the Anita program. The first race on today's program is a maiden claiming sprint. I don't think there's much to deal with here. The number 6 horse on the program, Siegel Punch, looks like he is well spotted. No value in this race though. He's 2-1 in the morning line. I really think he's going to go lower than that. You've got a couple of firsters in here that look kind of interesting. A whole lot of congrats to number 5. It's 5-2 in the line. Seems to be training okay for Doug O'Neill. Kind of a stranger danger type of horse. And number 2, Brian Daniel, dropping to his lowest level ever while removing blinkers. I'm not real keen on the race. I'm going to pass the first race. There are better opportunities later on in the program. So no real play in the first race. We'll sit it out and go to race number 2 on your program. Maiden special weight for 3-year-old fillies, going a distance to ground. And it does look fairly chalky here. Just a 5-horse field. Number 3, Lunchtime Diva. Number 1, Around the Twig. Look like they should dominate this race. Obviously, Lunchtime Diva at 4-5 is the one to beat. Around the Twig has only had the one start, though. I think she's going to stretch out and do really well here over a distance to ground. She's by Bluegrass Cat. She should like the added ground. She's come back and trained well, and I think she may have a little bit more upside than Lunchtime Diva, who has had 3 total starts to the one that Around the Twig has had. So it's hard to separate the two. Again, Lunchtime Diva 4-5, Around the Twig 5-2. I think they're probably closer than that. So if you want to choose one or the other, maybe you go for the better price, number 1, Around the Twig. But not a lot of value, obviously, in a 5-horse field. Third race, a claiming race on the turf. And the 2 main contenders, again, are probably going to be the 2 favorites. Number 3, Sporting Art. Also number 5, Hey Elvis. Of the 2, I probably prefer Hey Elvis. I like the way he won his last race. But Sporting Art, who is inside and may make the running here, hung on gamely last time in a first level allowance. He's realistically spotted here for the 50. Talamo riding him back for Mike Mitchell. So I can see Sporting Art, but again, Hey Elvis, the Australian bred, thought really won nicely last time for Doug O'Neill. Bejarano rides him back. And looks to me like he'll get a great stalking trip. Sporting Art will be on the lead, and the 2 will come together sometime, probably at the furlong pole. Maybe Hey Elvis with a slight preference, but obviously if you're playing any kind of rolling exotics, including a pick 6, you may want to play them both or use them both on your ticket. Fourth race, pretty good allowance race going 7/8, and this is a race in which I'm going to go just 2 deep using numbers 3 and 6 on your program. Number 3 is Red Door Drive. Number 6 is Red Eye Express. Pretty good race here. The favorite is Mythical Power, the number 1, the favorite on the morning line. This is a Baffer-trained comebacker who I think probably wants more ground than the 7/8. He might be a little vulnerable in this spot because of that, but I think Red Door Drive and Red Eye Express are the 2 that'll really appreciate the 7-furlong trip. Red Door Drive coming out of the San Pasqual, obviously a tougher spot, made the lead that day, got run over by Aggie Engineer, but he is backing up to 7/8 of a mile. He does like this particular class, so he's going from stakes to allowance, and I think Red Door Drive, Pedroza knows him well. I really think he's going to run well here. He's run well to distance in the past. Red Eye Express is a comebacker in the Drysdale barns, training very well, good outside draw, blinkers off, and with Rosario taking them out, who has won with them in the past. To me, Red Eye Express looks like he is really well spotted to fire off the bench, and I think he's the one to beat, and I think it's 6-1. That's a pretty good number if you can get it. So let's go Red Eye Express over Red Door Drive. 6-3, 360 for playing the exact. I would use them both, obviously, in all of your rolling exotics. Fifth race is a race I'm going to pass. You've got Skellytown, number 1, number 4, Super Harmony, number 7, Trouble Times 3. All logical, all coming out of the same race. You've got Self-Insured, who is actually coming out of a much tougher sprint, but he is kind of unproven over a distance to ground. Obviously, the winner figures to be one of those 4, but then again, on a small field, it's hard to separate. Skellytown was second as the favorite, now in Mulhall's barn. Super Harmony just upset Skellytown with an easy front-running trip, and Trouble Times 3 coming out of the same race, got left at the gate, might have been best in the race, so he's a contender. And then, of course, Self-Insured with a question mark around 2 turns. Passing the race, I really can't get a feel for it, so no play in race number 5. Sixth race, maiden claiming event. This is a race that doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. The 2 that I'm going to use are numbers 3 and 5. Number 3 is Gilded Reward. 5 is Jordanelle. So 3 and 5, I would think you'd be fairly safe if you restrict your play to those 2 horses. Gilded Reward is coming out of a fair race. I think he'll probably go better here, switching to Nakatani. He's got some early speed. Think she'll fit well here. But Jordanelle is the intriguing one, coming off a layoff, but training very well for John Sheriffs. Returning at the bottom, she obviously has her problems, but with Chantel Sutherland aboard and the ability to coming out of the show speed in a race that doesn't have a whole lot. Again, off the layoff, training well, dropping to a new low. I think Jordanelle has found her friends today, and I think she will probably win. So I'll put it 5 and 3 in that order. Jordanelle over Gilded Reward, but I would use them both in any rolling exotics you maybe want to be playing. 7th race, pretty good allowance race, goes as the feature. And the two we're going to use here are numbers 2 and 4. Number 2 is Sundar Ban, and number 4 is Game On Dude. Now, obviously, Game On Dude is the class of the field. He's tackling older horses today. When last seen, he was a very good 4th in the Belmont. That was last June, but he really has trained very sharply for his comeback for Baffert. Looks dead fit and ready to fire. And I think that in this particular spot, he is going to be really hard to beat. Sundown Burn did not run all that well in his California debut. That was grass, but he's back on dirt today. Look for a major forward move today from this Hollendorfer trained 5-year-old. So Sundown Burn, definitely a horse you'd want to use in your exacta with the logical horse, and certainly the one to beat, and that would be Game On Dude. So 2-4, 4-2 in your exacta box. Obviously, Game On Dude, 8-5 in the line. Likely to go lower than that is going to be the one to beat, but both are worth using in your exotics. 8th and final, claiming event, fillies and mares. $16,000 tag here. I'm going to go 3 deep here. I don't really trust anything in here, but I think you'll probably be able to survive the race if you go 1A, 6, and 9. 1A is intentional, 6 is social event, 9 is banana cream pie. So that's the exacta or trifecta box I would recommend. Intentional is getting off a rail today. I think that's going to help her. She's quick enough maybe to make the lead, and I think she's going to really fire today if she leaves with her field. Again, she was kind of victimized last time by being inside. She has a much better draw today. Intentional probably, most certainly, is the one to beat. Social event is a late-running sprinter who's been chasing a little tougher. I think this realistic drop in class will help. Look for her to be firing late. And number 9, Banana Cream Pie, comes off a good effort over the track. Was in kind of tight in the upper stretch and still ran well. She's drawn outside, should get clear sailing and have every chance. Look for Banana Cream Pie to run her best race. She's right there with these. So 1A, 6, and 9 in your 8th race exacta or trifecta box. Preference to number 1A, intentional, but use all 3 in all of your rolling exotics. That wraps up our Thursday seminar for Santa Anita and on SantaAnita.com. We wish you the best of luck at Santa Anita today, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.